Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac Show. I said cognac, ooh, ooh. I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm your bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Glen Cove Mansion, and it's a very special evening today. I'm here with the Director of Operations, Mr. Gus Montesantos, and it's all about a wine and chocolate tasting. Gus, explain to my audience what this event is really going to be all about.
Well, you know, from time to time we do events every month. And this particular month, especially that it's getting close to Valentine's Day, we like to pair up the certain wines to certain foods and to certain chocolates that Roxanne will be doing tonight. And that's what we did. We created, the chef will come out later and explain about the food, but you know, we basically touched base on the food, pairing up with the wine and the chocolates, and it's a nice pair. A lot of the wines have a lot of the fruitiness behind it, and it really complements the bouquet of the wine.
Many people wouldn't think to do that, wouldn't want to pair wine with chocolate, but this is it's sort of a new trend.
Yeah, it's growing, and it's getting more and more awareness. People are becoming more aware of the pairings, and the chocolate is a nice element to end the evening with. So.
Now, do you have a special wine or chocolate that you would recommend the pairing together? Have you tasted, or is this
No,
is this something new for you
It's new for
too?
me too, and we're going to pair that up tonight, and we'll see what happens.
I can't wait to see what happens. Tell my audience a little bit more about the Glen Cove Mansion. Since you are the director of operations, tell us about this beautiful place, the history of it.
Well, it's 1910. Basically, it was owned by the Pratt family, and it's on 55 acres of Gold Coast property. We cater to a lot of weddings, a lot of conferences. We have 187 rooms to this property. So this is the main building of the original mansion, and then there's been extensions made off on the property into the landscape as far as sleeping rooms and so forth.
So it's also an inn as well.
Well, a hotel, yes.
Yeah. And people do have weddings here.
Yeah, we have weddings here a lot throughout the year, almost one every weekend, and we also have a pub upstairs and on the second floor, and people get to enjoy some libations and food, and we do a good job.
Wow, I didn't know that you had a pub here too. I didn't know you had a restaurant upstairs.
Yeah, we plan on also building a lobby bar down here in the lobby, and that will also end up being more high-end wines and scotches and single malts.
It sounds like such a lovely place. It sounds like a beautiful place, a very romantic, historical, elegant place to come, to stay, very romantic. And you're also having another event taking place, and that's going to be in a couple of weeks, Valentine's Day. Tell my audience about that.
Well, we have Valentine's Day coming up, and basically we're going to start off with a 4-course dinner, along with Tanger champagne being poured as a toast, complimentary rose to the ladies, and then we end up going into another room for dancing, and the party continues. So we look forward to that on
The party continues just the way it did at the turn of the century, right? Just the way that with the Pratt family, and I'm sure she was friendly with the Vanderbilts and all those wonderful people that didn't pay any taxes.
Well, I'll leave that up to them. But
Right.
a lot of history behind here.
A lot of history. Now, tell my audience, if we want to find out more information about this fabulous place, where can we go? What is the website?
Well, we'll go to www.glencovemansion.com.
Terrific. Well, I want to thank you very much, darling. Give me
Good
a
having
kiss.
you.
Mwah.
Great having you.
And we'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews coming up. Keep watching. Pink Champagne Kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and I am here with the executive chef of the Glen Cove Mansion, and he's going to introduce himself to the camera.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Andy Helliwell. I'm the executive chef. I've been here for the last 6 years. And tonight's menu we decided to put together for this wine and chocolate dinner consists of items that are involved in chocolate. One of the dishes that we made tonight is braised short ribs, but with mole, which is a South American condiment that we used in it, and we actually braised them as if we were going to do a regular dish, but then we add this chocolate-based condiment into it, and then we cook it out long and slow, and then to go with that, I accompanied it with rice. We did a salad tonight, and what the salad is going to be a mesclun greens, and we did a wasabi orange dressing, and then on top of that, we're going to do two different shaved chocolates. Both of them.
My goodness.
Two different, one is 85% cacao and one is 75% cacao. And what it does is it actually all marries together with the sweetness of the orange juice, the heat of the wasabi, and then the delicious smoothness of the chocolate coming together. So that's one of the other things that we did tonight. And also we did an artisanal Italian board with all different cheeses, different cold cuts, and what I put with that is a whole bunch of different fig preserves, pickled cipollinis. We did some beautiful, beautiful artisan breads that we got from one of the local bakeries here. The other thing we're going to do is just a simple rosemary roasted chicken wing, which it's actually delicious. It sounds very simple, and it really works great. And this is something that works great with wine, and some of the items that I made, I've also put a little bit of heat into them, just a little bit of spice. We did Hopping John salad, which is from down in the New Orleans area. And what it is, it's with black-eyed peas, peppers, and then we put some Cajun spice in there, which gives it just a little bit of heat, but nothing is going to overpower anything. But what's great about it, when you have a glass of wine with it, it just marries together so well because it makes your mouth work really, really well.
So all the flavors and all the dishes will just pretty much complement each other.
Yeah. And what I did was I set off with item A, which is, say, the Mexican is the mole beef. And then by adding the Mexican rice, we continue the theme, but it actually marries the two of them together. And then what I did with all of the cold cuts that we have, they're all imported from Italy. But I also got I have one of the companies that I deal with, and they have these beautiful, beautiful preserves that when with the artisanal breads, they just come together and they make a really great flavor. And also down to the cheeses, we got some really strong cheeses which work wonderfully with wine, but also when you put that little bit of
Chocolate?
and chocolate too. You can have chocolate, and I'm actually doing a menu later on this year, and part of it is going to be with a port wine. And what we're going to do with them is we're going to do a chocolate ganache to go with it, which is chocolate melted down with heavy cream, and we whip it up and make it into a truffle.
Oh my God, I'm dying over here. I'm dying. I'm so hungry.
So
I starved myself all
that's
day.
okay. Guess what? You're going to really
Just to
enjoy yourself.
eat for
Don't worry, you're going
tonight.
to enjoy yourself tonight. We've got some delicious, delicious food. Some of it very, very simple. Some of it, in origins as simple as a Mexican simple house, family dish that they would make, down to a New Orleans dish. I mean, my background is I'm European. I was trained in Europe.
Where did you train?
I trained at the Savoy in London. In my
Savoy in London, yes.
in my kitchen alone was 100 chefs. I cooked for Frank Sinatra, the royal family. I've been around the world. I've worked in the Caribbean.
So you've cooked for the Queen.
Yep.
Is she difficult?
No, it's a very easygoing person.
Really? Wow, she's that easy? What's her favorite dish?
I don't know. Because when you actually get that level of food that those people eat, it's absolutely amazing. And like I say, in my kitchen, we turn around and we had 100 chefs. And that's the sort, at the Buckingham Palace, they have a whole brigade of chefs that just work just like the same at the White House, where they turn around and they'll do all international ethnicities of kinds of food, maybe from kosher to Indian to Chinese to European to classical French, just to keep changing the menus up and doing things that fit into that culture and that moment in time. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
and that's what's great here is that we do a lot of international business, and what I do is I change my menu from the lunch to night, and I change it every single day. And if we got somebody that comes in, we have one group that comes with us and stays with us, and we will do over 250 different dishes within that period of time that they're staying with us. So say if it's on Monday, arrive Monday, you got 10 different things happening on Monday. Tuesday, 10 different things. And we've had people that have stayed with us for 2 weeks and 3 weeks and 4 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
So you've got to keep changing it up, otherwise they get bored.
Yes, I know.
So what do? You can't just turn around and say, have a hamburger, have a hamburger, have a hamburger. Let's change it up. Let's do something completely different. And that's what we do. And 99.9% of the time we get it right. But you get that one time that you decide to go a little bit off center, and that's when you realize, wait a minute, I got to pull myself back a little.
Yes, I know. I've done things like that myself, so I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Well, I'm very excited about tonight's event. Now, tell me, is the chocolate coming before the food, or is the food coming first?
We're going to do the food first, and then after that we're going to do the wines in the other room with some chocolates.
Okay.
And like I said, what I did, I stopped and I bought some different chocolates for what I need, for what I'm going to do with the recipes over here. Because when we made the mole, we put it, and then there was a dark, it was a very, very rich, deep flavor to it. And I wanted to add that to the mole, because when the mole cooks the beef takes on this incredible, sweet, bitter flavoring, and then because it's slow cooked, it's so tender and juicy, it just comes out. It's a home run. It's really, really nice.
Well, darling, I cannot wait to experience this unique experience tonight, a wine and chocolate tasting, accompanied with so many wonderful dishes that you have created. I want you to tell my audience, where can we find you as a chef? Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have a website?
I don't have a website. I'm here. That's it. This is what
Not even a Facebook page?
I'm I would almost say introvert. I like myself to be myself.
I don't blame you. Well, I can't wait, darling, and thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
talking to me. Tell my audience one more time where they can go to find out more information about the Glen Cove Mansion. What is the website?
The website is theglencovemansion.com. We're actually the mansion at Glen Cove. We just changed our name recently, and because we have new ownership that came in at the beginning of last year, and we've got a lot of exciting things going on this year. We've got some wine dinners. We just finished doing a beer dinner in October, and one of the beers we had is a $300 bottle of beer, believe it or not.
Oh, my goodness.
And what it is made by Samuel Adams, and what they do is they keep changing it from cask to cask to cask. It takes 20 years to make it, so I got to play around with that. And then I have some whiskey dinners that are coming up, which is
Whiskey dinners. What about cognac dinners?
why
Like
not?
me, like my name.
Yeah, no problem. It's all, like, I do a lot of classical French food, and believe it or not, we finish out certain fish dishes, meat dishes with cognac. We actually flame it out, like steak Diane can be flamed out with cognac.
Yummy.
It's delicious.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
And we'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews coming up right here at the mansion at Glen Cove. Big champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the mansion at Glen Cove. And I'm here with Roxanne, and she's going to talk about a very special event that's taking place right here at this wonderful hotel and inn, and it's all about chocolate and wine pairing, and it's a wonderful tasting. Roxanne, tell my audience about this event tonight and how you were setting it up and coordinating it.
Well, I'm a chocolate sommelier, and my company is Exotic Chocolate Tasting, and I have a methodology of creating pairings from artisanal exotic chocolates and wine. And this is one of the very few public events that I do. I mostly do corporate events or not-for-profits and private events. But this is a lovely venue, and
It's gorgeous.
there's about 35 people that will be attending. It's sort of like a pre-Valentine's Day pairing. So when I had that in mind, I thought about floral notes and fruit notes that will be in two of the chocolates, and the chocolates come from one is from Tuscany. It's infused with red berries. Another one I brought back with me from Australia. That the beans are from the Solomon Islands, and there's another one from London, and those beans are from Madagascar. And then the very special one, because it is close to Valentine's Day, is a chocolate infused with candied violets.
Wow, candied violets.
Yeah, that's paired with Prosecco. So that'll be our opener. So we're going from a Prosecco, and then we're going to go to the chocolate from Madagascar that's paired with a wine that's a Zinfandel from California. And then we're going to Tuscany with the wine and the chocolate. And then we're going to end with a Syrah from Australia paired with a chocolate from Australia.
Oh, my goodness.
So we're going around the world sitting right in your seats.
It sounds truly amazing and truly fascinating. I mean, this is a new trend. Am I right about that, combining chocolate and wines together?
Well, I started this trend 6 years ago, and I'm still the only one that's doing it, at least to this level of perfection and passion.
Now, tell my audience how you got passionate in this. Why did you become passionate about wine tasting and mixing the two together, marrying the two together?
People always ask me that, and I've always had a passion for chocolate. I'm also a wine collector, so you cannot pair two things unless you know both, or else
You're so skinny too. How do you eat the chocolate and drink the wine and not gain any weight?
Well,
is that your metabolism?
Well, no, it's part of my presentation, actually, because people always ask me that question. Everything in moderation, and when you're having fine artisanal chocolates without any additives in there, it's a very good fat to eat that helps you maintain your weight. It's sort of the same idea as eating avocados or olive oil.
Are you talking about like the Atkins
The good
diet?
fats, yeah.
The South Beach diet. It's pretty similar.
Possibly, yeah.
So if you are on the Atkins diet, you can eat this.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the Atkins diet. This is my diet. I also eat regular food, but I always encourage people to just take a little piece of chocolate after their lunch or their dinner, savor it very slowly, and hit all your tasting zones and just enjoy it. And it inhibits you from wanting a bad fat. You won't be going for the cupcakes after you've had a really fine chocolate that you savored and really enjoyed.
Wow, so you started this 6 years ago.
Yes.
Was it difficult to start this whole idea, this whole concept of pairing the two?
No, it wasn't. It's a labor of love for me. I have about 100 chocolates from all over the world, and when I'm presented with a wine, I don't have to taste all 100 bars. I know instinctively which chocolates from that 100 I should pull out, and sure enough, one always goes with that particular wine. So that's how I made these pairings tonight.
Well, I can't wait to try.
Oh, so you're gonna be there?
Yes, I'm going to come
so
inside.
exciting.
First of all, I'm going to videotape everything.
Oh, really?
And then I'm going to taste everything because that's my job. And I'm going to really enjoy and savor the chocolate and the wine together, just as you recommend.
And I'll be describing that when we're in there.
So when everyone does go inside, you will be explaining the whole process.
I'm their guide.
Ah, I see. Well, that's quite fascinating.
So it's entertaining and it's also educational. People assume that, oh, it sounds like such a wonderful, tasty event, but they walk away with so much more value because there's the educational component in there. You're going to see when you go in, there's a slide presentation of my experience living in the Amazon in Ecuador. I lived with the Quechua people and harvested cacao in the jungle with them. So there's a different component. So there's a history of chocolate, how it's made, where it comes from. So that's part of the presentation.
Truly fascinating. You are a fascinating lady.
Why, thank you.
Really fascinating. And the whole concept, I just love it. I love the whole idea of pairing two of the most sexiest food groups, wine
They are, yeah.
and chocolate. They really are a sexy combination. I want you to tell my audience where we can go to find out more information. Do you have a website?
Yes, exoticchocolatetasting.com.
Okay.
Yes.
And if we want to follow you on Facebook, do you have a Facebook page?
Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, I can be followed anywhere. And I also have a wonderful newsletter I call The Chocolate Enthusiast that I send out monthly, and it's full of all kinds of great information about chocolates and where my next events will be. So I encourage people to sign up. That's on my website too.
Say the website one more time.
exoticchocolatetasting.com.
You're gorgeous. Thank you, dear. And let's toast to chocolate and champagne. We'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews coming up. Keep watching. Peace, champagne kisses.
This has been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.